I'll just come do those Wednesday or Friday during zero period.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, because we start zero period tomorrow. Yes, quickly. Let's help a couple of people out. So, Brinkley, can you tell me my formula when I plugged in the slope and the y-intercept? There you go. Because remember, y equals mx plus b. M is the slope and b is the y-intercept, which they gave you right here. All right, now get that into standard form. So, Gracie, what was standard form? Something x, slope. Not in the, just in general, with all the letters.
Oh.
Perfect. There you go. So get it in that form. Okay. Kaylee, what do I need to move to make this close to this form? I need to move the x, right? So I'm going to add 3 over 5x. Y'all quit talking, please. All right. So, Carnisha, what do I have left when I move the x? Plus y, right? It's a positive y. And then equals 5. Very good. Let's see, William, I've got to have integers, right? And a fraction is not an integer. So how do I get rid of that fraction? How do I make it all integers? So I need to get rid of this fraction, right? So what number could I multiply by to make this denominator go away? What is the denominator? 5. There you go. So I'm just going to multiply all of this by 5. Okay? All right, so if you go on the side, 3 over 5 times 5, those 5s just cancel out. So you've got 3x plus 5y is equal to 25, because make sure you distribute that 5 to all of them. Okay, let's go over a couple of things. Standard form could not have fractions, which we got rid of those, right? It can't have a leading negative. Did I get rid of the leading negative? Yep. It can't have a GCF other than 1. Is my GCF only 1 between 25, 5, and 3? Yes, that's why it was my answer, okay? Everybody good? A lot of you on your quizzes forgot to get rid of this fraction on standard form, okay? And the only really bad thing y'all did on your quiz, y'all did awesome on your math, you just didn't read directions. So when it said write in standard form and then find the A, B, and C, a lot of you didn't write the A, B, and C. When it said on functions, state the domain and range was the very first thing that it told you, a lot of people just didn't write the domain and range. So that's where a lot of your points got taken off on your quiz. It wasn't your math, because your math was awesome. It was just a lot of you just didn't read directions, okay? Just to make sure, I know this doesn't say this, but let's just do this just for practice. What is my A, B, and C? What's my A? 3. Not 3x, just 3. A lot of people wrote 3x. What about my B? 5. And my C? There you go. All right, let's look at number 2. So you've got Ms. Lewis, who plans to drive 900 miles for her vacation, and she is going to average 50 miles per hour. So, guys, look, if it's 50 miles per hour, how long is it going to take her to get there? How do I figure that out? There you go. 900 divided by 50, right? So the zeros go away, and that is 18, right? So I know my answer is not going to be E, because it says, how many miles per hour faster must she average to reduce her total time by 3 hours? So if I'm going to reduce it by 3 hours, 18 minus 3 is 15, right? So I need, my destination miles are not going to change. She's not driving a different route. She just needs to know how much faster she's got to drive to get there in 15 hours. So if you're going to go faster, what's faster than 50? What do you want to try? You want to try 60? Okay. So what's 900 divided by 60? Is that 15? There you go. So how much faster is that? 10 miles per hour faster, right? So, okay?
Wait, how did she get the PhD?
Because it said, right here, it says how many miles per hour faster must she average to reduce her total time by 3 hours? And then this, so this is just 18 minus 3, which is 15. Okay, let's look at number 3. You can mark out a lot of things on 3 by looking at what it says. It says for all positive integers, because remember integers were negatives and positives, so only with the positive ones. What is the greatest common factor of the two numbers 216x and 180x? So first of all, guys, what's one thing they have in common? X. So that means it can't be F and it can't be G, right? Because neither one of those have an X. All right, what else do you notice between these two? These two are both even numbers, right? Which means you know at least what number has got to go into them. 2, right? So it's not H because it has a 1 in front of X instead of a 2 in front of X. All right, so if it says the greatest common integer or the greatest common factor, which one do you want to start with? The biggest one. So let's do 216 divided by 36. What is that? 7, 6. Which one is that? 6. Okay. And then what about 180 divided by 36? Does it go evenly? Is that 5? Yep. So it is K. Y'all go on that? Anybody lost? All right, Friday's bell ringer. You are not responsible for it. It's not something that we're going to grade or going to go over or anything. But I did post a video because the triangle, the last problem with a triangle, that is an awesome ACT question, which they show a lot. And you will see it if you're a 10th grader. You will see it on the ACT Aspire that you will take this spring, okay? So you may want to go back and look at that. I did post that video last night, okay? All right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to go over your quizzes, but we're going to go over them after we get our notes finished. So we are on page 11. No, page 10, right? For y'all, page 10? Okay. Did we finish all of 10? We did 1 and 2 at the bottom? So we need to do these? Okay. But we did the paragraph above it, right? Okay, all right, so here we go. This is pretty easy. We're going to go through this pretty fast. Everybody good? Did y'all do 4 and 5 as homework? Ooh. Did you? Well, you better make sure it's done by tomorrow, because tomorrow during your bell ringer, I'm going to come around and check it for a grade, okay? So if you didn't finish 4 and 5, you may want to make sure it's finished tonight, okay? All right. Find the slope. Ooh, what was slope? Rise over run, but what was the rate of change form that we learned? Change in y over change in x, right? Okay. It does not matter the order. What matters is that you match them up, okay? So change in y over change in x. What are your two y's? Negative 3 and 5. You want to subtract them in that order? Okay. Or you could have done 5 minus negative 3. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you pair them up. So if you started with negative 3, what's the x value that you have to start with? 1. So 1 minus my other one is 3. So what's negative 3 minus 5? Here. 8. There you go. And 1 minus 3? All right. And what's that give me? Positive or negative? Positive. There you go. All right. What about number 2? What are you going to do? Negative 1 minus 7. Everybody okay with that? Negative 1 minus 7. You could have done 7 minus negative 1. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you pair them up. So what's the x value that went with negative 1? 8 minus 8. Ooh. What's that give me?
0.
On the 0 on the bottom, right? What about the top? And what's negative 8 over 0? Is it?
Yes.
Which one is it? Use your calculators. You're the ones with calculators. Do negative 8 divided by 0. It gives you an error, right? Which means that is undefined. Undefined. Ooh, what kind of line is that? Ooh, what kind of line has an undefined slope? What kind of straight line? Which one? Y'all both said, one said vertical, one said horizontal. Which one?
It's horizontal. So,
It's vertical. A vertical line. vertical line. All right, so everybody has their little tricks to remember it, right? I don't know why, but this one teacher told me it was the Tour de France that was going on with bikes. You know, they ride the bikes around France. And she told me that if you have a horizontal line, how easy is that to ride your bike on a horizontal line? That's super easy, right? So that means you have no effort whatsoever, so your M is 0. Everybody good? And then, but what if you had a vertical line? Can you ride your bike up a straight vertical? No, it's not possible. So this is undefined. That helps me. Everybody has their own way to remember it. So if you don't have your own way to remember it and you need one, that's the way I remember it, okay? Does that help you? Kind of, sort of? All right. So let's go to page 11 and let's start some good stuff, okay? All right, so here's what I want you to do. I want you all to do 3 and 4. And then we're going to come together and do the bottom ones, okay? All right, y'all do 3 and 4. Good job. All right, so Kayla got positive 3 over 5. So make sure you got that one. And then Seth's going to come up here and do number 4. All right, there's number 4. Did y'all get negative 5 over 8? Yes? No? Maybe? Negative. So what did we do? So Seth did negative 9 minus 11, right? Which is negative 20. Y'all okay with that? And then you started with negative 9, so you've got to start with 24. And instead of saying 24 minus negative 8, he just went ahead and said 24 plus 8. Y'all okay? And then that's 32, and then that's negative 5 over 8. That's right. Everybody okay with that? Okay, so let's go to the bottom ones. Because you found slope before, but we haven't talked about finding slope with a graph, okay? So do you see where these grid lines come together, like right here? This would make a point, right? Did I see that? Yes? No? Do y'all see that? Okay. You've got to find a point on this graph. So where's the point on this graph? Anybody have one for me? 3, where? Negative 3? So 0, negative 3? So this point is 0, negative 3. And I need one more. Negative 3, 2, 3. That's negative 2. Negative 2, 0? Oh, those are intercepts. Very nice. Okay, so let's find the slope. Let's not subtract anything. Let's just do this. You ready? So slope is rise over run, correct? So from this bottom dot, how much am I going to rise to be level with the top one? 1, 2, 3, right? And if I rose 3, then that is positive 3. Y'all okay? Now let me need to run. So we're here. I need to run, but I'm running to the left 2. So that would be negative 2, right? Everybody okay? Yes, no, maybe? That's all you got to do. Let's do another one because I see some people shaking their heads. So slope is rise over run. You need 2 points. Does anybody have a point for me? Negative 8, negative 1, right? Is anybody lost about how that's a point? All right, I need one more. Give me another point. 7. Well, they're counting by 2s. 4. I need an order pair. I need an X and then a Y. 4, 0. There's no point right there. There's nothing on the graph. I've got to have it on. Michael, I've got to have it on the graph, okay? Matthew, what did you say? Positive 8? Positive. That's not 2. What is that? 4. 8, 4, right? You got to be careful on this one. Is anybody lost about how I made those 2 points? All right. So here we go. Slope is rise over run. So start at the bottom dot. How much do you have to rise? And be careful. I am not counting by 1s. I'm counting by what? 2s. Because it's blank and then 4 and then blank and then 8. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm going to go up 2, 4, 6. Okay? The reason I'm stopping here is because you see how it's level with that dot? So if I went up 6, that's positive 6. Anybody lost about that? Alright, now I've got to run. So I'm going to run 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I ran 16, okay? So what's my answer? 3 over 8, right? Because they're both divisible by 2. Still okay? Alright, what about number 3? Josh, can you give me a point on number 3? Somewhere on the line, preferably. 0, 10? Okay. So what are we counting by on our y's, guys? Be careful. What am I counting by? No, I'm not. I'm counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. So this is counting by 5s. What about my x's? They're counting by 1s, right? So be careful. Alright, who can give me a, let's see, Mike, what you got? Anyone on this? Huh? Josh gave me that one just a minute ago. Give me one more. The 40 part? I need the x first because it's x and then y. So, no, it's 6, 40. It's okay. Alright, so how much do we rise? Here we go. So I'm ready, let's see, this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, right? I rose 30. If I went up, it's positive. Alright, I'm going to the right. Remember, you're counting by 1s. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what's 30 over 6? Come on, people. 5. Beautiful. Last one. Ready? Wait. What? I just did 3 of them. Nobody stopped me. So that's why I did that to start with for you. This is counting by 1s. This is counting by 5s. Is that where we were confused? Okay. Alright, let's look at number 4. Alright, give me a dot. Let's see. Jeremiah, give me a dot on number 4. Somewhere. 0, negative 2 is an awesome dot. And Carnation, can you give me another dot? Negative 1, 2. That's a good one. Very nice. So, Sydney, how much am I going to rise from the bottom dot to the top dot? 4. Very good. And since I went up, then it's positive 4. And, let's see, Diego, how much did I run to? But I ran to the left, right? So, anybody, how much is that? Negative 1, so your slope is just negative 4. Y'all okay? Anybody lost? Yeah. Okay, remind me and I'll plug. I gotta plug it up. Alright, so let's go to page 12. Page 12. Okay, page 12. Alright, here we go. So we just did this in your bell ringer. You ready? An equation of the form y equals mx plus b. We just did this in your bell ringer. What is that form called? Slope-intercept. Very good. So I had the hardest time remembering this name. I'm like, this is the craziest name ever. And then I realized that it has a m, which is slope, and it has a b, which is the y-intercept, right? The name is in the formula. Alright, so when an equation is written in this form, you can identify the slope, which is m, and you can identify the y-intercept, which is b. Got it? Okay. Alright, let's look at number 1. Identify the slope and the y-intercept. D. Oh, sorry. What's the slope? Uh-huh. And can you my y-intercept? Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Anybody lost about number 1? Speak now, that's an easy one. Okay, what's wrong with number 2? It was not in standard form. It's close to standard form. What's wrong? The 10's got to be over here, right? So what's so special about slope-intercept form? What is this solve for? It's solved for y, right? So real quick, what can I do to solve for y? Add the 10. What else? Subtract the 3x. I'm going to put this in because people always try to subtract these. The x comes first in everything. In slope-intercept, the x comes first. In standard form, the x comes first. Everything, the x comes first, right? Then you divide everything by 2, right? Very good. Oh my gosh, I've got a fraction. It's okay, it's the slope, right? Y'all good with that? Look, y'all gotta wake up. It's second period. It's past 9 o'clock. Y'all good. You should be up by now. Alright, so, Mike, what's my slope?
5.
No.
No, I would.
Stop it. Negative 3 over 2. There you go. And my y-intercept? What's my y-intercept? Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Alright, Diego, what do I do first on number 3 to solve for y? Sir? I can't hear you. Okay, so I need to get y by itself, right? So I need to get this one by itself. So I need to get rid of 2x. How do I move the 2x? You subtract it, right? So that means negative 4y is equal to, my x has got to come first. So it'll be negative 10x plus 10, what? Or negative 2x, I'm sorry. I was writing the 10 at the same time. Alright, let's see. Sydney, what do I do from here? 5? Perfect. Divide everything by negative 4, right? And so, Grace, when I divide by negative 4, what would y equal? 2. Positive 2, over. Because remember, this is not 4 over 2, be careful. So negatives do go away. See, 4 over 2 is 2. But that's not what I have. I have 2 over 4. So what would I get? If the negatives go away. 2 over 4, right? X. And instead of plus a minus, then I would just say minus 10 over 4. Where? Okay, look. Hold on, I'm waiting for it to focus. Yes, you could, Maxie, I'm getting there. Alright, so you get how the 4's cancel, right? These 4's go away. And 2 negatives make a positive, correct? So I just rewrote this 2 over 4 right here. And then right here, instead of saying plus or minus, that's just a minus 10 over 4. That's all I did. Got it? Franklin, what's wrong? Because 4 over 2 is 2. Take your calculator and do 2 divided by 4. That's not 2. 2 divided by 4 is not 2. It's 1/2. We are. Alright, Matthew, can you tell me the simplified version of this? Positive. 5 over 2. These 2 negatives cancel out. I just rewrote it because some people can't do both of these steps in their head. So I just rewrote it. But if you can go ahead and jump to the simplified version, then go ahead and jump to it. Alright, who do we have? Let's see who else. Diana, what's my slope? 1/2. And Michaela, what's my y-intercept? Perfect. Alright, so we haven't done number 4, okay? We need to do number 4. I know it's kind of jumbled up together. So let's do number 4 up here. Okay. We did one very similar to this when we were talking about linear functions, okay? How do I get this y equals 7 in the form y equals mx plus b? What is this 7? It's the y-intercept because the slope has an x, right? Do I have a slope? It's 0, right? So I'm going to put 0x plus 7. Because I do have a slope, it's just 0. And so, Alyssa, what's my slope and my y-intercept from here? Perfect. Awesome. Very good job. Very good job. Y'all okay? Anybody need a second? What's wrong? You gotta tell me if something's wrong. 1 and 2. You ready, Josh? 1 and 2. It says graph using slope-intercept form, okay? So on your test, you're going to have to be careful. You ready? On your test, one of them is going to say graph using the intercepts. What do I do if it says graph using the intercepts? You plug in 0 for the x and the y, right? But that's not what this one says. So a biggest downfall so far has been that y'all don't read directions, so be careful. It says graph each one using slope-intercept form. So what's my slope? 2 over 1. What's my b? 1. Why do I want my slope as a fraction when I'm graphing? Because this, there you go. Alright, b is for beginning. So where do I go?
1.
Where? I have 2 ones. Positive 1 on the y-intercept. It's the y-intercept. Positive 1. And then 2 over 1. So go up 2, right 1, put a dot. And from geometry, 2 points make a line. So that's all you really have to have. But just for giggles, let's make another point. So I can go up 2 and right 1 again, correct? What else could I do? There you go. The opposite of up 2 and right 1 would be down 2 and left 1, right? That's okay, but I want to make sure we understand it. Because, Matthew, you may have a problem where you won't have any more room to go up 2 and right 1, so you'll have to go down 2. All right, number 2. What's wrong with number 2? Here we go. Not the right form, so how do I get y by itself? Subtract the x. The x comes first, so it would be negative x minus 3. So, Madison, what's my slope? Not the x. Negative 1 over, I need it as a fraction when I graph. And then my y-intercept? Negative 3, right? So, b is for beginning. Where am I going to begin? Negative 3 where? On the y-axis. There you go. So down 3. Alright, my slope is negative 1 over 1. So that means I'm going to go down 1 and right 1. Or, the opposite of down is going up. The opposite of right is going left. Some of y'all did Mr. Slopeman's face in, what was it? Something like that. Mr. Slopeman in middle school. Some of you did that. If you didn't do that, then you're looking at it funny. If you did do it, you know what I'm talking about. This is a positive slope. This is a negative slope. Matthew?
On the test, freshman year,
If it doesn't, this does not say 2, so no, I would not. But in the one above it, it did say 2, so yes, I would. Alright, let's go to the next page. We got to finish this up today. Alright, so we're going to do it together to finish it up, okay? Alright, let's look at number 3. So be ready, because I'm going to call on you. Emily, what would I do first to get y by itself on number 3? Add 4. So, Scotty, when I add 4, I get 3y equals 4x plus 12. What would I do to finish getting y by itself? Perfect. Oh no! 4 over 3 is not a whole number. Is that a problem? It's okay. That's my slope, right? Leave it alone. And then 12 divided by 3 is 4. So my slope is 4 over 3. And my y-intercept is 4. If you don't need to write this to graph, then don't write it. But I write it for people that need it. So I'm going to go up 4 for my y-intercept. And then my slope is 4 over 3, so I'm going to go up 4 again. And right 3. Put a dot. Or I could go down 4 and left 3. Y'all okay? Anybody lost? Anybody need a second? Alright. Oscar, what would I do first on number 4 to get y by itself? Subtract x, perfect. Alright, so be careful. Keep that -5 with it. Alright, Gracie. So I've got -5y equals -x plus 5. What would I do to finish getting y by itself? Divide by -5. Alright, and I'm going to slow down right here because I know this is what confused some of you last time. Okay, so you've got y equals. These negatives go away, right? They both turn into positives. 2 negatives make a positive. How can I rewrite this? What number is understood to be in front of this x? 1. So my fraction is 1 over 5, and just stick that x to the side. And then what is my y-intercept? -1. Perfect. There you go. So my slope is 1/5. Y-intercept is -1. So go down 1, put a dot. Slope is 1/5, so I'm going to rise 1 and run 5. Or I can go down 1 and left 5. No, you do not have to have 3 dots. You only have to have 2 dots to make a line. Ooh, let's look at number 5. Ooh, what about this one? It is a vertical line. Okay. So, what do I do? X tells me which axis to go to. So I'm going to go to the x-axis at 7. And I'm going to put a dot, right? Now, the way I remember this is it's opposite of the axis. So the x-axis is horizontal, right? So opposite of that would be vertical. There you go. It's a vertical line. Alright, what about number 6? So, Seth, what would I do first to get y by itself on number 6?
Subtract the 3x.
Perfect. Alright, who am I not calling on? Chloe. So when I subtract the 3x, I get -2y equals -3x minus 6. What would I do to finish getting y by itself? Divide everything by -2. Perfect. Alright, so these negatives cancel out, come in a positive, and I have 3 over 2x, and -6 divided by -2 is a positive 3. So, okay? Alright, so my slope, some of y'all already finished, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I'm going to go up 3 for my y-intercept, and then up 3 again, and right 2. Or down 3 and left 2. Y'all okay? Alright, here's what we're going to do. Your homework tonight is, we don't have a page 14, so your homework tonight is page 15 and 16. Yes, we will turn it in. Yes, I will take it up. Yes, I will grade it for correctness. Page 15 and 16, this one on the board. Everybody good? It's in your notes. It's this one right here. In your notes, page 15 and 16. Alright, what we're going to do until time is up is we are not going to work on our homework. We are going to pass out our quizzes, and we're going to look at those. We're going to go over any questions about that. So go ahead and pack everything up. Pack everything up except for maybe a pencil and a calculator. You may want to keep those out.